Jesus' temptation. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. When he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry afterward. The tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread." But he answered, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of God's mouth." Then the devil took him into the holy city. He set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you don't dash your foot against a stone." Jesus said to him, "Again it is written, You shall not test the Lord your God." Again the devil took him to an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. He said to him, "I will give you all these things if you will fall down and worship me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get behind me, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and you shall serve him only." Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and served him. Hello, my friends. Jesus, a human alone in the desert. The question why we at all can know something about these desert experiences is secondary. For me, it is obvious that Jesus told his disciples how he was led into temptation. But nothing starts on its own or is directed by the devil. Behind, or better said, above all stands God, who let us not be tempted over our powers. And lead us not into temptation, we pray together with Jesus in the Lord's Prayer. The devil is only a background actor and is only God's ape, as Luther calls him. Have I to believe in a devil? How terrible, to understand that story? Does the whole story become implausible because of the figure of the devil and has to be banished into the realm of fairy tales and myths because you can't believe in a devil with tail and horns anymore? But don't underestimate the fairy tales and myths. Since ancient times they have told us about the fight between good and evil and make visible in a figurative language what is going on internally in your psyche. And so it is here with Jesus. It's not about looks and objects that can be grasped with the hands, but about inner states of mind. Jesus struggles at the beginning of his public action in the desert about his own identity, between self-doubts and omnipotence fantasies, and experiences these doubts as temptations of the devil. Who am I? Am I really the Son of God? Why don't I take it easy then and turn these stones into bread? Then I wouldn't be hungry anymore. If I'm really the Son of God, God will take care of me when I jump down into the abyss. His fantasies of fasting are mirroring to him like in a Fata Morgana, the realms of the world and what is in them. Everything what the heart desires. Power, success, eating and drinking, sex. The glory of this world, consumed in measureless distortion, becomes to a devil's work. As a critical human of the postmodernism, I'd like to ask a question which actually is beside the point. But had Jesus as Son of God really could turn the stones into bread? What is it here really all about? Presume Jesus had attempted to turn the stones into bread, aside the figure of the devil, because he was hungry, and it hadn't worked. The stones would have remained stones, Does it depend on miracles and magic and that Jesus can walk across water and can calm the storm, whether Jesus is God's Son? Was maybe the actual temptation for Jesus that he was tempted in a moment of weakness and doubts at the end of his long fasting to have to prove to himself to be the Son of God? What is Jesus for you? A kind of supernatural Superman who can fly? A Neo who isn't subject to the conditions of the Matrix? Jesus doesn't underlie the temptation of the devil to have to prove himself as Son of God. Just in this, his relation to the Father is shown. It is so natural that there just can't be any proofs in the material world. This causality, so if you are the Son of God, then you can do this or do that, totally fails to describe the relation between Jesus and his Father. But back to our story. The devil tries to encircle Jesus from two sides by demanding on the one hand the proof of Jesus that he is the Son of God, on the other hand by wanting to provoke an interference of God that shall confirm Jesus' sonship. But the relation between Jesus and God is always and will always be a mystery. What will come of it we see in the next 3 years. To those who have eyes to see and hearts which are alive, the love between Father and Son is unfolded in this world. The others kill him. What does a physical hunger already mean to Jesus? There is a hunger which no bread can satiate, which all the glory of the whole world itself can't still. Who is searching for salvation in the material world fails and runs astray. Jesus, he knows God like nobody else. Abba, dear Father, experienced just through that time of loneliness in the desert the quality of God's presence. How can their bread or the whole glory of the world can be fulfillment to him? How can bread still our spiritual hunger for God? How can the glory of the whole world, which mirrors God's glory, be a substitute for God? Now we understand why Jesus was led by God into the desert. Now we also understand why we are led into the desert. That we look through the world of things and recognize God. God bless you, my friends. Bye.